Tony, knowing obviously last week it was disappointing, but kind of what went into the lineup moves here today?
Just kind of an instinct or a feel. We even had one change late just due to some circumstances, and when you know it, Christian Scott was the late kind of swap out, if you will, and that's kind of how it works sometimes. And you like to see guys take advantage of their opportunities, but really guys like Kendro, C. Scott for the most part, when he's been engaged in the outfield, we want him to be a coordinator out there when he's out there. They've done well with their opportunities, but you guys have seen it. We've scattered them about and trying to get the right pieces of the puzzle there. And we've said it, and the theme hasn't gone away. It's something that's going to take some time and some repetitions. Unfortunately, it's come with some lumps so far. Hopefully those are limited from here on out, but I truly feel like we're making some progress. And if anything, guys can look at the internet stat sheets, which have some value, and see that the sample size is starting to stack up. There's guys who can say they have experience now.
What was kind of the message to the team after that Sunday doubleheader?
We didn't have one. We got on the bus and we got out of there. I know some teams have complained that we've had cold showers available for them when they go over to Neyland, or I don't even know where our opponents go now, but we did too. So that kind of capped off what kind of a trip and a weekend it was. And it's a pretty nice basketball arena they got. So I know it wasn't on purpose, but we went over and took a quick cold shower and got on the plane as quick as possible so guys could get back here. You lose an hour coming back to the East Coast, obviously, and there wasn't much to say. And part of that was probably my fault. I probably said too much on Friday night, knowing that we weren't going to play Saturday. And then Saturday, you had all day to kind of juggle the schedule. You had Vols basketball right in the middle of the day, which was a good thing, but we had to do some things schedule-wise. And so enough had been said, and not enough action had taken place, and everybody knew that. So it was time to get out and come back here and get back to work. And I think a lot of guys did that yesterday on what was an off day. And I think their preparation paid off because this was a clean game against a good team, and it involved a lot of guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
What went into keeping Blake Burke in the lineup? Were you just trying to get him back into rhythm?
He was sick last week, and whether it was true or not, he kind of looked like a guy who had been sick for a couple days on Friday. Of course, it's inclement weather, and maybe he was late to balls for a different reason, getting ready or whatever it might be. Again, just kind of instinct, no crazy method to the madness. I mean, standard deal. Xander gives you a great start. Would love to give him 6 innings, but then you got 4 other guys to answer to. They come up into the office, and we were probably short even getting 1 guy out there that in addition to what we used. So just wanted a team win and wanted guys to get repetitions. And this is only a small part of it, but some of those guys had to sit there and have the wind blowing in their face, in Green Bay Packer weather and not play, and yet are expected to cheer on their teammates for 14. I can't do 14 plus 9 talking to you guys right now. I can, but I'm not gonna. So they deserve to get out there and play. And then some of the other guys maybe need to realize you don't know when you're not going to get to play. So take advantage of it when you're out there.
Tony, what's your understanding with the pitch clock in regards to the hitters? I know there was a couple of times tonight where that was a factor.
Sure. The hitter needs to have his feet ready to go in the box with 10 seconds. I don't know necessarily if a hitter can make an argument, my feet's in there, but I'm not ready. If the guy throws, and that's on me, because we've seen pitches be thrown at hitters that aren't necessarily ready. So I don't know if that's what the deal is, but you need to be in there with 10 seconds. I know that for sure. And then I wasn't aware I guess the rule is, and I'm not quoting the rule book, I'm just saying what was said out there. The pitcher doesn't necessarily have to be ready, but the hitter has to be ready. So if the pitcher's not on the rubber, but the hitter's not in the box with 10 seconds, then the strike goes to the hitter. And that was Ryan Miller's instance. So obviously there's logistics, courtrooms, whatever, to separate those, but I mean, we're all just in the dugout. Ryan Miller's a guy who, to a fault, does everything perfectly. So he deserves more reps, and the coaching staff has made note of that, and we will go way out of our way to make sure that we make that up to him.
A lot of guys got opportunities tonight, but Jared Dickey getting first time at catcher this season, just kind of what went into that, just trying something?
Yeah, I mean, he's good back there. And, we've kind of tried a bunch of different things, but we haven't necessarily tried that yet. There's maybe one other position player that we've talked about maybe doing something with, but I think it was a good spot to do it. We didn't ask him to start, catch a full 9 innings. We didn't ask him to catch the 9th with the game on the line or a real tight score, and he was able to get out there and looked really good at doing it, to be honest with you. But the pitchers have a lot of respect for anybody that puts in all the work to play that position. I'm probably speaking for every pitcher in the country, I would hope. But when he's back there, it's kind of like a kid in a playpen. I mean, or maybe a pig in a pen. Just kind of slops around and has fun back there. And I think it's a good component for us to have on the catching side with the other 2 guys.
With the pitch clock, is that something you practice and work on, or something you kind of get used to?
No, not really. I mean, we did have umpires come in our last 3 scrimmages before we went to Arizona, and then it was a learning process. And each venue's different too. Arizona, we played at 3 different facilities, and Friday night, I mean, they were like on it at the facility. And then it kind of varied a little bit on who's starting the clock and who's not, and there's human error. And, I find myself, all right, I need to watch the clock and be in charge of this and call timeout if needed and all that. And then there's a lot of other stuff going on in the game. But it's a new thing, and we're all working through it. And yeah.
Christian had the home run tonight, made that catch in center. Just what have you seen from him, both defensively and offensively, and could he be a guy that gets more opportunities moving forward?
Yeah, it's up to him. I mean, I don't want to sugarcoat it, but when I grew up, well, I hated Bobby Hurley, but Wojciechowski, I think, is on TV now. I mean, Duke was really good, and I liked Kenny Anderson for Georgia Tech. I was rooting for a lot of other good point guards because I thought I was a point guard, which I was. It turned out I wasn't, but we're looking for a guy who can, quiet the crowd or pump up the crowd or point out where guys need to go, in particular in center field. And who better to do that than a guy that's been in the program for as long as he has, a kid that everybody respects. He's smart and he's really athletic. He just needs to kind of allow himself to do that more like he did tonight. I mean, that was a tough catch he made right there. And you could see him directing traffic out there. So that's what's required of him on the defensive end. Base running has always been outstanding. He's a threat at all times because of his speed. And then during BP, not that I'm Nostradamus, but he took that same swing that he hit the homer on in BP. BP was very effortless. And, the kid's got a lot of passion. When he tries too hard, he kind of ruins his swing. And when he's fluid with that swing like he was tonight, it's pretty good. But again, anything he does with the bat is a bonus because he gives us something we don't have defensively and on the bases with some other guys.
You mentioned him kind of being the coordinator out there in the outfield, like the play against Boston College where maybe he missed one, but tonight looked like he came in and called charge and made a couple nice plays out there with some of those in between. I mean, how is that what you're missing in the outfield?
Yeah, the Boston College one was quirky, and did you like my basketball references? It's March Madness. I don't know that there was one person to blame. I mean, I'm hearing, when there's a lot of tension in a game like that Boston College one, sometimes you got to tranquilo a little bit, and some guys in the dugout are, this guy should have caught it, that guy should have done this. Well, everybody can't be wrong and everybody can't be right. It fell in between 3 guys. And the bottom line is the trio all needed to talk better. And then out of that communication probably comes who's the best guy for the job in particular. So again, if he can coordinate in that fashion, then regardless of who's at second, short, to his right or left, or maybe he's at a different position, then the right thing will get worked out.